It starts quietly, a racing heart in the middle of a normal day. Shallow breathing without reason. Your chest tightens, your mind spirals. You're not being chased. You're not in danger. But your body acts like you are. Anxiety doesn't need a real enemy. Just a whisper is enough. Anxiety is more than worry. It's the brain's overreaction to perceived threats. A false alarm going off over and over again. The prefrontal cortex, where we reason, is hijacked by the amygdala, where fear lives. You know everything is okay, but your body won't believe it. And in the Bible, even the strongest felt it. King David writes in Psalm 55, "My heart is in anguish within me. Horror has overwhelmed me." Childhood trauma, chronic stress, perfectionism, neglect. The nervous system learns to be alert always. Maybe your parents were unpredictable. Maybe love came with conditions. Maybe school was pressure, not safety. The brain, to protect you, wires itself to scan for danger. Even Jesus saw fear's root. In Luke 12, he asks, "Why are you anxious about your life?" But he doesn't shame. He sees. He touches the wound, not to condemn, but to heal. There's no fear like panic. It hijacks. You can't breathe. You feel like dying. The world spins, your hands shake, and worst of all, you feel alone. Misunderstood. Broken. But you're not broken. You're human. Elijah, the prophet who called fire from heaven, fell under a tree and cried out, "I have had enough, Lord. Take my life." 1 Kings 19. That was fear. That was exhaustion. That was a panic attack in ancient words. God didn't scold him. He let him sleep. He sent an angel with food, rest, kindness. That's how healing begins. Our brain is designed to survive. When it senses threat, the amygdala fires. Cortisol floods your body. Blood rushes to your limbs. But what if that alarm system gets stuck? This is chronic anxiety, like an engine revving with no brakes. Relationships suffer. Work becomes torture. Sleep disappears. Faith feels distant. You pray, but you don't feel peace. But God doesn't expect blind peace. He invites trust. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46 verse 10. Anxiety rarely speaks in full sentences. It whispers, subtly and persistently, in the back of your mind until its voice becomes the loudest in the room. It doesn't shout the truth. It softly repeats lies until you begin to believe them. It convinces you that you're not safe, even when everything around you says otherwise. It makes you question your worth, your stability, your future. It tells you that something is wrong with you, even when all the evidence points to the fact that you're simply human, trying your best to hold it together. Fear is a master manipulator. It doesn't need logic to thrive, it only needs repetition. It plants thoughts like, what if something bad happens? Or you won't be able to handle this. And over time, these thoughts no longer feel like questions. They feel like facts. The anxiety becomes a lens through which you see the world. Dangerous, unpredictable, and always one step away from disaster. But the most painful lie anxiety tells is this: you're alone. It isolates you not only from others, but from yourself, from your peace, from your God. It makes prayer feel distant, community feel threatening, and the future feel like a mountain you'll never climb. Even when you know you're loved, anxiety convinces you it's conditional. Even when you remember God's promises, it makes them seem fragile in the face of what you feel. And yet, the truth remains. You are not what your fear says you are. You are not alone, not broken, not beyond help. The Bible gives us story after story of fearful people. People like the disciples in the storm, panicking as the waves crashed into their boat. Their fear was real. Their panic made sense. But Jesus was in the boat, and he calmed the storm, not because they had perfect faith, but because he was present. His peace didn't depend on their strength, but on his love. Anxiety lies, but Jesus speaks truth. He reminds us gently, do not be afraid, for I am with you. Not do not feel, but do not fear. There's a difference. Feeling anxious is not a failure. It's an invitation to trust, to slow down, to breathe, to remember that we are carried, even in our most restless moments.